What if everything you were taught about money was only half of the equation? There is an invisible field around this planet, a field where all possibilities coexist at the same time. At this exact moment, as you read these words, there is a version of you living in absolute abundance, not as fantasy, not as desire, but as vibrational reality already existing in the fabric of the universe. You did not find this text by chance. The frequency that brought you here is the same frequency that is about to reveal something that has been kept hidden for centuries, something that quantum masters knew, but which was lost in the superficial translation of the law of attraction. Because what they told you about manifesting money always had a missing component, a piece that transforms desire into instant materialization. Take a deep breath now. Feel the air entering your lungs. At this moment, you are not just reading about abundance. You are beginning to vibrate in it. Money was never about money. This is the first truth that the quantum universe whispers to those who are ready to hear. When you look at a $100 bill, you are not looking at paper. You are looking at condensed energy, crystallized information, frequency materialized in a form that your five senses can interpret. But here is the paradox that no one explains to you. You cannot attract money. Not the way they taught you. Not with empty affirmations. Not with superficial visualizations. Not with willpower or isolated positive thinking. Because attraction implies distance, and distance implies separation, and separation is the primary illusion that keeps you away from the abundance that already exists within your personal quantum field. The truth is deeper, more silent, more powerful. You do not attract money. You become the frequency in which money is inevitable. There is an abyssal difference between these two states. One is effort, the other is alignment. One is desire, the other is identity. One happens in the mind, the other happens in the field. Close your eyes for an instant. Feel the energy around your body. There is an electromagnetic field emanating from you right now. Measurable science. Documented physics. This field extends beyond your skin approximately 3 meters in all directions, and it is constantly conversing with the unified field of the universe. This conversation does not happen in words. It happens in frequency, and here is the revelation that changes everything. The universe does not hear what you want. The universe responds to what you are, not to what you think you are, not to what you pretend to be, but to the vibrational signature that your nervous system, your cells, your atoms, are transmitting to the quantum vacuum every nanosecond. When the ancient masters spoke about abundance, they were not talking about accumulating coins. They were pointing to a state of consciousness, a mode of existence where the universe flows through you without resistance, where you become a transparent channel for the energy that sustains galaxies. Money is just one of the languages that this energy uses to express itself on the material plane. Think about it. Everything that exists is energy vibrating at different frequencies. A stone vibrates slowly. A thought vibrates rapidly. An emotion vibrates in between. And money? Money is energy in a state of constant flux, movement, circulation, exchange. The word currency comes from Latin, current, that which flows. But you were conditioned to hold, to contract, to fear not having. And this fear, this contraction, this sensation of scarcity engraved in your nervous system since childhood creates a magnetic field that repels the very flow you seek. Not because the universe punishes you, but because you are transmitting on the wrong frequency. If this resonates with you, it is because your soul already knew. There is a reason why you have always felt you should be living differently. A reason why, even when you apply all the techniques, something still does not completely fit. Because no one taught you the part that happens before manifestation, the part that happens at the quantum level of your being. You were taught to visualize, to affirm, to make gratitude lists, and all of this has value. But they are tools of the mind, and the mind is just the surface of the ocean. The real work happens in the depths, in the nervous system, in cellular memory, in the electromagnetic field that you carry like an invisible second skin. That is where your true financial frequency lives. And this frequency was not created by you consciously. It was installed before you had language, by the disapproving looks when you wanted something expensive, by your parents' fights about bills, by the phrase you heard 1,000 times. Money does not grow on trees. Money is difficult. Money corrupts. Rich people are greedy. Each of these phrases became a program running in your subconscious, a vibrational code, an instruction to the quantum field about which reality to collapse for you, because that is what you are, a collapser of probability waves. Every second, billions of possible realities exist as pure potential, and you, through your unconscious frequency, choose which one becomes solid, which one gains permission to enter your three-dimensional experience. This is the secret that quantum physics discovered and that mystics always knew. You do not live in one reality. You choose one reality among infinite ones, every moment, through the state of your energetic field. And if your default frequency was calibrated to scarcity since you were 5 years old, then it does not matter how many affirmations you repeat. You will continue collapsing the same financial reality, because the collapse does not happen at the level of the conscious mind. It happens at the level of vibrational identity. So the question is not, how do I attract money? The question is, who do I need to become so that abundance is my nature? Keep reading. Something in you is awakening. The quantum field does not need to be created. It has always been here, invisible, silent, waiting for you to learn its language. In 1927, Werner Heisenberg discovered something that shook the foundations of classical physics. He proved that a subatomic particle has no defined position until it is observed. Before observation, it exists in a state called superposition, a state where all possibilities coexist simultaneously. Let that penetrate for a moment. Matter is not solid until you look at it. Reality is not fixed until you collapse the probability wave through your observing consciousness. You are not living in a solid and immutable universe. You are swimming in an ocean of fluid possibilities, and your conscious attention is the brush that paints the picture of your experience. But here is the part that changed everything when scientists finally understood. It is not just your mental attention that collapses the wave. It is your entire electromagnetic field, your entire vibrational state, the totality of what you are transmitting energetically. In 1993, the HeartMath Institute began measuring the electromagnetic field of the human heart. They discovered that the heart generates a magnetic field 5,000 times more powerful than that of the brain, and this field extends 3 to 4.5 meters around the body. Pure science. Measurable. Replicable. This field is not metaphor. It is physics, and it carries information, memories, emotions, beliefs, patterns. Every intense emotional experience you have ever had left a signature in this field, like waves in a lake, like energetic fingerprints that continue transmitting long after you consciously forget the event. Now connect the dots. If the quantum field responds to conscious observation, and if your heart is constantly transmitting an electromagnetic field loaded with emotional information, then what is really creating your financial reality is not your thoughts about money. It is your feelings about money, recorded in your field, transmitted involuntarily, collapsing probability waves with every heartbeat. You are remembering, not learning. When you feel anxiety checking your bank account, that emotion does not stay contained within you. It radiates. It informs the field. It tells the quantum universe, I am someone who fears not having. And the field, which does not judge, which only reflects, responds by creating more situations where you experience that same frequency, not as punishment, but as mirror. The universe is a feedback system. It cannot give you what you desire. It can only give you what you are. Because desire implies lack, and lack transmits scarcity, and scarcity collapses realities of scarcity. It is quantum mathematics, frequency, and resonance. When you desire money, you are vibrating in its absence. When you expect money, you are vibrating in its distance. But when you simply are someone for whom abundance is natural, when you breathe like someone who already lives at that frequency, you stop chasing and begin magnetizing. This is the difference between attraction and embodiment. Attraction keeps the object separate from you. Embodiment dissolves separation. You do not become rich. You become wealth, not as ego, but as frequency. And here is the neurological secret that no one explained to you. Your brain cannot distinguish between a real experience and an intensely imagined experience. When you visualize something with deep emotion, with all senses activated, with genuine feeling, your nervous system responds as if it were happening now. Neurotransmitters are released. Synapses are formed. New neural circuits establish themselves, and your electromagnetic field changes instantly. This is the power of true visualization, not as escapist fantasy, but as quantum rehearsal, as installation of a new vibrational identity. But most people visualize wrong. They see money as something separate, something that needs to arrive, something that is out there, and this separation is the blockage. The correct visualization is not seeing yourself receiving money. It is feeling like someone who already lives at the frequency where money flows naturally. It is inhabiting that state, breathing in it, walking in it, until it becomes your default vibrational signature. And when this happens, something magical unfolds. The quantum field begins to conspire. Synchronicities appear. Opportunities arise. The right people cross your path, not because you are attracting, but because you are resonating. Resonance is the key. Two tuning forks in the same environment. When you strike one, the other begins to vibrate spontaneously, without touch, without effort, only through frequency correspondence. You are a living tuning fork, and the money you seek is already vibrating somewhere in the quantum field, waiting for you to align with its frequency. Do not fight. Do not force. Do not chase. Tune in. But how do you tune into a frequency you have never experienced before? How do you become something you have never been? Here is the answer that neuroscience offers. You fake it until the nervous system believes it. You rehearse the identity. You practice the state. You choose thoughts, emotions, and actions that are coherent with the version of you that already lives in abundance. And you do this repeatedly, obsessively, religiously, until the new pattern replaces the old one, until the new frequency becomes automatic. This is the work, not empty affirmations, but deep vibrational reprogramming. And when you understand that you are literally rebuilding the neural circuits that govern your relationship with money, you realize that manifestation is not magic. It is science applied with spiritual intention. You are rewriting the code, changing the frequency, reprogramming the field, and the universe has no choice but to respond. Now we arrive at the point where everything inverts, where the search ends, where effort dissolves, where you finally understand. You are not creating abundance. You are removing the blockages that prevent you from perceiving that you are already immersed in it. Abundance is not something you conquer. It is something you unlock. The universe is not scarce. Look around. Trillions of stars, billions of galaxies, infinite oceans, trees generating oxygen without stopping, your body producing millions of new cells every second, without effort, without charge, without fear of running out of raw material. Nature operates in absolute abundance, and you are nature. You are made of the same atoms that form stars, the same intelligence that orchestrates the cosmos pulses within your chest with every heartbeat. So why do you believe there is lack? Because they taught you, they conditioned you, they programmed you. But programs can be rewritten. Frequencies can be changed. Fields can be reorganized. And this does not require years of therapy. It does not require suffering. It does not require moral purification. It requires only one thing: quantum decision. Quantum decision is not mental choice. It is conscious wave collapse. It is you, as sovereign observer of your reality, deliberately choosing which timeline to inhabit, because they all already exist. At this exact moment, somewhere in the field of infinite possibilities, there is a version of you who never worries about money, who looks at the bank account and smiles, who gives generous tips, who buys gifts without thinking twice, who travels when they want, who invests in themselves without guilt. This version is not fantasy. It is quantum potential, as real as the version you call present, just vibrating at a different frequency, and you can choose to collapse that reality. Now, not tomorrow, not when you earn more, not when some external condition changes. Now, because now is the only moment when quantum collapse happens. Past is memory, future is projection, but this instant, this breath, this heartbeat, is where the universe is asking you, who do you choose to be? Remain in this field for a few more moments. Feel the weight of your body on the chair, the temperature of the air on your skin, the silent sound between thoughts. This is the portal. This is ground zero. This is the place where all creation begins, in silence, in emptiness, in the space between one breath and another. This is where you stop being the character fighting against life and become the conscious field that observes, chooses, and collapses realities. The money you seek is not in the future. It is here, now, in potential form, waiting for you to align with its frequency. And alignment is not external action. It is internal state. It is you waking up in the morning and, before checking your phone, before thinking about bills, before entering the survival autopilot, you stop, breathe, and consciously choose to inhabit the frequency of someone who already lives in abundance. How does this person think? How do they feel? How do they breathe? How do they walk? How do they speak? How do they treat the money they already have? Because the money that is already in your wallet is the portal to the money that is coming. If you treat $50 with contempt, as if it were insignificant, you are telling the quantum field, I devalue energy. And the field responds by reducing the flow. But if you treat $50 with the same reverence you would treat 50,000, you are transmitting, I honor energy in all forms. And the field responds by amplifying the flow. It is not superstition. It is vibrational physics. Everything is information. Everything is frequency. And the way you interact with what you already have informs the universe about what you are ready to receive. You are already vibrating differently. You may not perceive it yet, but something changed since you started reading. Because information is energy, and energy reorganizes fields, and fields reorganize realities. You are not just reading words, you are absorbing frequency, and this frequency is dialoguing with your nervous system, activating cellular memories, awakening dormant potentials. Because the truth is, you always knew this. At some deep level, prior to words, you always knew you were made for abundance, that the struggle was illusion, that effort was resistance, and now you are beginning to remember. It is not new knowledge, it is recognition. It is the moment when the soul says yes, this, it was always this. And when you touch that frequency of recognition, something in the universe moves. Doors begin to open. People begin to appear. Opportunities begin to materialize. Not because you deserve it, but because you finally stopped blocking. You relaxed. You trusted. You surrendered to the flow. And the flow always wanted to carry you. Always. You were just swimming against the current, thinking effort was virtue. But abundance does not reward effort. Abundance rewards alignment, rewards fluidity, rewards letting go. So let go. Let go of the old stories. Let go of inherited beliefs. Let go of the fear of not being enough. Let go of the guilt of wanting more. Let go of the shame of desiring material comfort. Let all of this dissolve into the quantum field from which it came. Because you are not here to survive. You are here to create, to expand, to manifest the glory of the universe in human form. And money is just one of the tools the universe uses to remind you of your creative power. Use it well, with consciousness, with gratitude, with generosity, and watch how the flow multiplies. Now let us go beyond understanding. Let us go to direct experience. Because you can understand everything intellectually and still change nothing. The body needs to feel. The cells need to know. The field needs to reorganize. So breathe with me. Inhale deeply through your nose. Hold for 3 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth. Again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Feel the air moving energy through your body. Every breath is exchange with the universe. You give carbon dioxide. You receive oxygen. The tree gives oxygen. Receives carbon dioxide. Perfect cycle. Eternal flow. Abundance in motion. You are already living in reciprocity with life. Now bring your attention to the center of your chest, to the heart area. Breathe as if the air entered and exited directly from there. Breathe through the heart. And as you breathe, remember a moment when you felt truly grateful. Any moment. A hug, a sunset, a laugh, a gesture of kindness. Do not think about it. Feel it. Relive that sensation in your body. Gratitude is not thought. It is frequency. And when you activate genuine gratitude, you change the electromagnetic field of the heart instantly. Continue breathing in that sensation. And now, keeping gratitude active, add the image of you living in total abundance. Not as desire, but as memory. As if you were remembering something that already happened. See yourself waking up in a home you love. Natural light entering through the windows. You feel safe, comfortable, at peace. There is no hurry. There is no fear. There is no lack. You go to the kitchen, prepare your favorite coffee, pick up your phone, check your bank account, and smile, not because it is much, but because it is enough. more than enough, and it is always flowing. Feel this. Do not visualize from afar. Enter the scene. Be the person who already lives this way. What is it like to breathe in that body? What is the posture of those shoulders? What is the energy of that mind? Without anxiety, without control, just fluid confidence that life provides. You open your wallet. There is money there. You take some bills, touch the paper, feel the texture, and whisper mentally, "Thank you. Thank you for flowing through me. Thank you for choosing me as a channel. Thank you for trusting me to distribute you wisely." You treat money as consciousness, because that is what it is. Conscious energy in symbolic form. Now imagine you are going out. You dress in clothes you love, clothes that make you feel like the highest version of yourself. It is not about brand. It is about how you feel wearing it. You leave. The day is beautiful. You walk differently, not rushed, not worried. You walk like someone who knows they are exactly where they should be. Someone stops you on the street, offers something, an opportunity, a project, an idea. You listen, consider, and say yes, not from desperation, but from alignment, because you recognize the frequency, the synchronicity, the universe weaving the web. Stay here. This is the point where time stops. Breathe even slower. Let every sensation deepen. Let the body memorize this state. Let the nervous system record this frequency as the new default configuration. You are not pretending. You are rehearsing. You are installing the software of abundance in the hardware of your body. And the more you practice, the more automatic it becomes. Now imagine returning home at the end of the day. You check your email. There is a message. Money came in. Unexpected. You were not chasing it, but it arrived. Because you were at the right frequency, in the right place, being the right person. You smile, not from surprise, but from recognition. Of course, this is how it works. When I relax, life flows. Breathe in that sensation one more time, deeply. Let it spread through your entire body, through the cells, through the atoms, through the field. And now, slowly, begin to bring consciousness back. Move your fingers, your feet, open your eyes, but do not abandon the frequency. Bring it with you, to the living room, to the kitchen, to work, to every conversation, every decision, every thought. This is the practice. It is not isolated meditation. It is continuous state. It is you consciously choosing to inhabit the vibrational identity of someone who lives in abundance. And the more you practice, the more the field responds. The more the universe conspires, the more money flows. Not because you are doing something magical, but because you stopped blocking what was always natural. Return to this practice whenever you want to remember who you are, whenever you feel fear returning, whenever the old mind tries to convince you there is lack. Breathe, feel, realign, and watch how reality changes to reflect the new frequency. So here we are, at the end of the beginning. Because what you just read is not just information. It is initiation. It is activation. It is invitation to a new way of existing. You entered this text looking for answers about money, but what you found was something greater. You found the truth about who you really are, not a body struggling to survive in a hostile world, but infinite consciousness having a temporary experience in human form, a wave collapser, a reality creator, a portal through which the universe knows itself. And money? Money is just one of the infinite forms that universal energy uses to flow through this portal called you. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop chasing, you stop fearing, you stop contracting, and you begin to allow, to trust, to flow, because you realize it was never about deserving. It was never about working hard enough. It was never about proving your worth. It was always about frequency, about alignment, about becoming a transparent channel through which the abundance of the universe can move freely. And you are already doing this, now, at this moment, just by having arrived here, by having remained, by having allowed these words to reorganize something within you. You are no longer the same person you were when you started reading. Something loosened, something expanded, something awakened, and this awakening has no return. You can try to forget, you can try to return to the old, but a part of you will always know, will always remember, will always recognize the truth when it appears again. Because truth is not concept. Truth is vibration. And once you touch that vibration, it leaves a mark on the field of your soul. So what do you do now? How do you live from here? You practice, daily, not as obligation, but as devotion, as sacred ritual, as constant reminder of who you chose to be. Every morning before entering the automatic character, you stop, breathe, and consciously choose to inhabit the frequency of abundance. You feel gratitude for what you already have. You treat every cent with reverence. You give generously. You receive graciously. You move like someone who knows that life always provides. And when fear returns, because it will return, you do not fight it. You breathe through it. You recognize it as the old program trying to reassert itself, and you gently choose the new frequency, without judgment, without drama, just conscious recalibration. This is the work. This is the path. There is no shortcut. There is no magical technique that does everything alone. There is only you, choosing moment after moment to inhabit the vibrational identity of what you wish to experience. And with time, that identity stops being choice. It becomes nature. It becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. And when that happens, you look around and realize that everything changed. Not because the world changed, but because you changed the frequency through which you perceive and interact with the world. Your bank account reflects this. Your opportunities reflect this. Your relationships reflect this. Everything reflects. Because the universe is perfect mirror. But the most beautiful thing is that you no longer care. Not in the anxious way. Not in the grasping way. You appreciate, you celebrate, but you do not depend. Because you understood the final secret. True abundance is not in what you have. It is in what you are. And you are infinite consciousness. Unlimited potential. Pure creative field. Money is just one of the many forms this field uses to play. To create. To expand. And you can play too. Without guilt. Without fear. Without shame. You can desire more. You can create more. You can manifest more. Not as compensation. Not as proof. But as expression. As celebration of life in material form. And as you create, you remember to give. Because giving is the maximum frequency of abundance. Giving is the recognition that there is so much, that it overflows, that it needs to move. So you give. Time. Attention. Money. Energy. Love. You become flow. Entry and exit. Cosmic breath. Contraction and expansion. And in this flow, you rest. Finally. Deeply. Completely. Because you do not need to seek anything more. You do not need to prove anything more. You do not need to become anything more. You already are. You always were. You always will be. And everything you wanted, all the money, all the peace, all the freedom, was just waiting for you to stop chasing and start embodying. This video has not ended. It continues inside you. Every time you breathe consciously, every time you choose gratitude instead of fear, every time you act from abundance instead of scarcity, you are living this teaching. You became the message. You became the frequency. You became the living proof that the universe conspires in favor of those who align with the true nature of reality. And this nature is love. It is abundance. It is infinite flow. Welcome to your true identity. Welcome to your natural frequency. Welcome to the life that was always waiting for you to remember. You deserve to live it. The entire universe is celebrating this moment with you. Breathe, smile, and let the journey begin. If your soul recognizes this truth, honor it now. Click subscribe, give this video a like, and believe. Allow the universe to continue the work that began here.